Welcome to the Cardamom Chai Podcast. I'm your host, Jasnoor.
Hi everyone, I'm Roma. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode for all of our favorite things. That's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, but first, how was your week, Roma?
My week was great. Didn't really do much, just catching up on things at home. Except, I've been trying to redecorate our bedroom. That's one thing that's taken over this week for me. Did a bunch of first research, try to figure out what kinds of decoration options available out there, like all the styles and everything that you can decorate a bedroom in, from bohemian style to modern and rustic and all these things. So I've been doing a bunch of research on that, and then based on that sort of stayed at a combination of somewhere between bohemian to minimalist to modern, trying to find a balance in three of these together. Yeah, that's what I've been occupied with this week.
Nice. You'll definitely have to send us a picture.
Yeah, maybe I can do that. Yeah. I really enjoy decorating spaces in the house with different things. We even looked at wallpaper designs and everything that we want for one of the walls in our bedroom and all. So, because we haven't actually put any efforts into decorating the bedroom. We put a lot of effort into decorating everything else in the house, all other rooms. But bedroom, we were trying to keep it as minimal as possible to try to bring out the simplicity in it, but I feel like it needs more colors and everything now, so
okay,
just different more elements and more textures and everything.
Okay, yeah, I know you're really into interior designing, so I can't wait to see when it's all done.
Yeah, I'll share it with people.
Okay, awesome, that sounds good. I can't wait.
Yeah, how about you? How was your week? What are you up to?
It's been good. I've been trying to read a lot more. I go through periods of when I really love reading, and then other times I'm just too busy to read anything, or I haven't found a good book. Recently, there's just been so many good books out there. So I've just been wanting to read as much as possible because it's just been reignited. And I've been reading a lot of fantasy. So I used to read a lot of science fiction. So first it was romance, then it switched to science fiction, but now I'm into fantasy. Oh my god, there's so many books out there that are really, really good, and I just can't wait to read all of them.
Cool.
Should we get into today's episode?
Yeah. Today we're gonna talk about all of our favorite things, from favorite TV show to movie to book and, travel and all these things. We thought of doing a sort of a laid back, fun episode for you all to just tune in, and we'll just, two friends just talking about our favorite things. Some of the things we already know, but it would be nice to talk about the whys behind it and sort of discuss more on some of these things and have you guys listen to it. And we would love to hear your side of things as well. So I'm going to pitch in the email address here, cardamomchaipodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to share your thoughts on these things, and then we'll obviously add it again at the end as well.
That's great, Roma. Thanks for introducing us to that. And just as Roma said, a laid back, fun episode. I hope you guys enjoy. Should we get into the first thing, Roma?
Yes, let's do it.
I know we touched on this in our introduction episode, but what is your favorite TV show?
I have been loving Virgin River. That's honestly my favorite TV show. So when I say I don't really have one favorite of anything. Yeah. I usually have more than one answer for favorites. Because a lot of my things depend on mood and what activity I'm doing as well. Me being an introvert, it's important for me to have something. I like having something playing in the background when I'm doing something and all. So there's a different TV show for that, and then there's a different TV show for the depth of things. So Virgin River is really for the depth of things for me. I love that show so much. They released the new season and finished obviously in the whole season in one sitting.
Oh, nice.
I love that show for the slow lifestyle that they show in that show. It really revolves around this small town called Virgin River, and the people living in that town, and how they are leading their lives in that town, and how they show the relationships to be complicated, but still like there's so much respect between people, and the way people communicate with each other, the sense of community that they show in that show. All of those things combined, I find that show very calming for some reason. It's almost like it gives me the delusion sort of that I'm living that life while I'm watching that show. Just I think it sort of shows how much we crave that slow life that people, I guess, maybe used to have back in the day, or even, you know, right now it would be amazing to have those slow days or slow life. For that reason, I really like that show. And then the other show that I usually watch a lot, talk about a lot, is Gilmore Girls, because I have that playing in the background. Like if I'm in the kitchen, or if I'm, I don't know, like doing anything that doesn't require me to like use my brain or something, I would just be playing that show in the background. And I've watched that show probably like 500 plus times. Like if Netflix had a calculator or like a way to notice how many times you've watched a particular episode or a particular show, I'm pretty sure they would run up to like 500 plus times that I've watched that show so far. All seasons in a row sort of thing. That I would have playing in the background because I've watched it so many times. I just know the episodes and I just know what would be playing. So that would be playing in my head while I'm just listening to the dialogues, doing my own stuff. And I've realized on like social media and all these things, I've realized a lot of people really enjoy watching that show in their free time and while they're doing other activities as well.
Yeah, no, it's a good TV show to watch in the background. And I completely agree with you there. Like I've watched it so many times as well, and it's such a comfort show. Like every fall hits and I'm like, I think it's Gilmore Girls season. We need to start watching it immediately.
Yeah, because like they start the show in fall, it seems like, right? Like they show them wearing sweaters and those like amazing like burgundy shades and all these like, oh, I love fun of like those first few episodes and the first season and everything, because that's like the oldest style of like the shades of lipsticks that they wear, or the clothing colors and the styles that they wear and all. I really, really like those things. So it makes sense that people would want to like dive into Gilmore Girls as September is hitting or as fall months are starting. Yeah, those are like my favorite TV shows. That obviously there's actually a few more as well, but these are the two I know for sure that I really like and I actually enjoy watching, and I would consider Virgin River as my favorite TV show. I don't think there's anything quite like that show out there for me, at least what I've noticed.
I haven't watched Virgin River, but it makes me really, really curious to now watch it, because we do have similar taste in Gilmore Girls, so I feel like I'm gonna like that one too if I watch it.
Knowing you for so many years, I'm 99% sure. I'm very sure you're gonna like that show.
Okay, sounds good. Okay,
try giving it a go. It's amazing.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it a whirl.
Yes, and now I want to hear yours. What's your favorite TV show?
Okay, so mine. Before I talk about my favorite TV show, you know how in India there used to be like all these serials and like so dramatic, like multiple camera shots from different angles on one person. Just like someone gets slapped and you have to have like 50 people's reaction to it shown on the TV. So those were like the serials that I kind of grew up watching, just because my mom would be watching them. Once like I started, like when we moved to Canada, like and then in high school I think, or even junior high, I would actually start watching the serials, not over dramatic ones, but I think they came out with like some really good ones. And you know how there is no sexual things in Indian TV show, but they hint at stuff, which is I think their way of showing like tension. And then you know when you're like you grow up with that, you kind of like, oh, this looks really fun, right? The TV show Bridgerton. I'm obsessed with that TV show. I don't think it's my favorite TV show. But I'm obsessed with that TV show because it reminds me of that. Oh. Except Bridgerton is very explicit. So not to that extent, but like the building tension and all that stuff, like that's there. Right. And it kind of hits the same keynote as like those like Indian dramas and serials used to do. So I'm like obsessed with that TV show. That's an honorable mention here. But my favorite TV show is actually Amazing Race, which is like a competition TV show where they go around different countries and compete in different activities. My dad used to watch that TV show. We watched it together, and he would tell me like cool facts about all these different countries and stuff like that. And then I started watching it independently. I like love that TV show just because the exposure you get to different countries, and like because they get really involved in like some of the activities and you get to explore. And then my second favorite TV show is Doctor Who. This is a very old British TV show. It's actually, I think, it might have been going on in like the 60s. So they would have produced this like the Doctor Who series, and they cancelled it after like many years and many seasons. They cancelled the series and they rebooted the series in 2005. Yeah, in 2005 it became very like modern. So then I actually started watching it, the 2005 series that they rebooted. And I've been watching it ever since. And it like scratches that itch of like science fiction. I really love science fiction books. This is like an extension of like me watching science fiction TV shows.
Oh, wow. So like it's been going on since then? Like do they publish a new season? Like is it like a new season every year or something?
Sometimes it takes them 2 years for a new season. A new season was released this year. There wasn't actually a holiday episode released on the 25th of December. I still have to watch it. I can't wait to watch it once I can. But I think they're going to release the next season in 2026. So it's still a while to go. But as soon as it comes out, I am like watching it. And I think I made you watch one episode of it. I don't know if you remember that TV show with like the statues.
I can't.
Like, and the episode was called Don't Blink, and it's like the statues are covering their eyes, and you have to stare at them. And if you look away from the statues, they will come and get you and touch you, and you get transported back in time.
I think I remember this. Oh wow! Like this is giving me goosebumps right now. I remember this. I think. Okay.
Yeah, I showed it. I think I am just remembered that I showed it to you, and you did not like it at all.
This was like what, back in university or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh wow. I can imagine myself not liking it, given I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it right now.
Yeah, no, like that's like one of their coolest TV show like episodes. And like that's one of my favorite episodes, and it's called Don't Blink. Essentially, if you blink, the statues can move, and if they touch you, you get transported like 100 years back in time, and essentially they steal life away from you. So by the time it's like potential energy, you could have lived out your life.
Right.
Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah, it is a very interesting. There's so many like wild concepts in it that like a science fiction nerd would love it.
Right.
But if you're not into science fiction, you will not. You'll be like, this is ridiculous.
Or scary.
Or scary. Yeah, that one is actually a little bit of a scarier one. I should not have showed you a very scary episode.
Yeah, by the way, I'm not into scary things at all. I wouldn't watch scary movies. People around me like scary movies or scary TV shows or whatever, but it's just not my thing. I just feel like, why do I want to waste 3 hours of my life getting scared and like getting anxious and everything? So I don't know, I just don't find it fun to watch scary stuff. But the Amazing Race show that you mentioned, that sounds like sort of like a reality TV show, more like adventurous side of things.
It is it's so fun to watch, and you're just like, it's like a competition, you're rooting for people to win, stuff like that. So I think that one, The Amazing Race, anyone could watch it and love it. I honestly think so. But I have not met a lot of people that have watched this TV show. Like, I'm surprised. But it's been running for there's 30 seasons.
Whoa. Is it on Netflix or is it like an actual TV?
It's actually on like a cable network. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's not. I have not found it on any streaming service. I have tried, believe me.
Okay. Maybe because people are like just onto like streaming websites now, right? Like from Netflix to like Prime and Crave and all these things. Maybe that's why I'm wondering.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I know that was a little bit of a longer discussion. I have so many favorites that I can get into. Moving on. What's your favorite movie, Roma?
Movie-wise, I, again, given Indian background, watched a lot of Hindi movies, grew up with Bollywood stuff. So there's like 3 movies I have in mind that I really, really like. And out of these 3, 2 of the movies I watch as if it's the same as Gilmore Girls. I just have it playing in the background. And those 2 movies are Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara and Dil Dhadakne Do. So Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara literally translates into you only live once. And then the other one called Dil Dhadakne Do, which means let the heart beat.
Yeah.
I love these 2 movies so much. I'm a huge Zoya Akhtar fan. So she's behind these 2 movies. The first movie, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, You Only Live Once, is basically these 3 friends, 2 of them flying from India, 1 flying from England, I think, or somewhere in Europe, I think England, flying all 3 of them, meeting up in Spain and having a road trip in Spain, basically. And all 3 of them are doing an adventure task that one of them have picked for the other, and the other 2 don't know about it, and then they are trying those adventure sports, and somehow those sports are related to their actual fears in life as well, for life, and how trying those sports and being brave about those sports is actually like helping them resolve their own fears in life as well, and how it helps evolve their personality and become better human beings, or like resolve any relationship issues that they had. Just like the story is amazing, and also for the whole direction of the movie, like the way it's been directed, the colors and the scenery that they show, songs are amazing. All these reasons, the dialogues, like I remember the dialogues now of that movie as well, and like I start to find like, okay, there's this missing, there's like I start to find like what's missing in the movie and things like that. Anyway, I love that movie so much. So that's that movie. The other one, Let the Heart Beat, I love that movie a lot as well. It's less than Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, but this one I watch a lot. That is about like a family and like Indian like culture of like how there is so much like showing off and all, but then like it's all like superficial conversations that families in India might be having, and then they don't really have like true conversations in life, like what's important and all of that, and how like brushing everything under the carpet has not really gotten them to have like true like deep relationships with either family or friends and things like that, and how kids end up hiding their relationships from parents, and why it shouldn't be like that, and giving freedom to kids and all that. I don't know, I like that movie as well. And then the other movie is Barfi. Now Barfi is a very like deep and movie, like it's very deep. That one is by Anurag Basu, and that movie basically the guy is deaf and dumb as well, like he cannot talk or listen here. I don't know how to explain, like it's such a deep movie, like Barfi is just so deep. I don't know, have you watched it?
Yeah, I have.
I feel like that movie is basically if someone is an alien like on the planet for the first time, on Earth for the first time, and if you need to explain the concept of art to them, you can show this movie to them. This movie is basically representation of art in every form, from the way the scenes are. Obviously it's the main character is shown as someone who cannot talk. So very less dialogue delivery in that movie, and even then the message is like conveyed. The songs are like beyond my ability to even explain how amazing the words are of the song. And anyway, that's the deep side of the movie. I like to give like more than one option for everything, and then I get just so lost in the feeling of that movie that I don't want to talk anymore, because I'm just like feeling that movie again. It's such a deep movie. I love the songs of that movie as well so much. I don't know how someone is able to portray such a deep message about love, life, relationship, marriage, friendship, everything together without dialogues. from actors to the directors to the writers, everything. I don't know. It's just amazing movie. But the one that I watch on repeat is Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, because these other movies I can't watch on repeat because they're too deep. Burfi is too deep for me to watch on repeat, so I can't watch that on repeat. I'd cry every time, which I don't have time for. So, so yeah, that's why. That's what it is for me. I want to know yours. Tell me your favorite movie.
No, I totally get your feeling behind all three of them, because I've seen them as well, and they definitely hit those core things that you talk about. But moving on to what I like, I like Harry Potter. Harry Potter was such a key movie and book for me during a tough time in my life. Tough time being we moved to Canada. Like moving from India to Canada is not an easy process, and I think it was very difficult at a time when I myself was going through a lot of changes, because I was 12 and a half at that time, and that's a very pivotal time in a child's life. Like you go from a child to a teenager, and there's a lot of changes going on, and then you don't know the language of the country that you're moving to. You don't have any friends, so I think Harry Potter was one thing that was really there for me when I needed it. So like it taught me how to speak English, actually. I would watch the third movie. We had that on tape, and I would play that movie all the time, and I'd put subtitles on, and every word they spoke that I did not know the meaning of, I would write it down. And then after I wrote it down, I would look it up on the dictionary and be like, what does that word mean? And then I'd figure out, okay, that's what that means. And then once I found there were books, not just movies, I started reading, and like that really lit my reading hobby into what it is today. So like it was a very, very crucial thing for me growing up. So I know a lot of people are like, it's overhyped, they have opinions about the author and how they're conducting themselves. People have their own opinions. Honestly, like, I don't really care what the author does, because the author's not that important to me. What is important to me is that story of Harry Potter, and and what it meant to me in that time specifically. So I'm never going to be like, I hate Harry Potter just because the author's doing some questionable things. I can't let go of that. It'll always be my favorite movie. It'll always be my favorite book, and nothing.
It's part of your childhood.
Exactly, and nothing can top it. Even if like it's just so amazing and meaningful, nothing can top that, because it's so deeply rooted into who I became as a person.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah, because like we all like grew up watching Harry Potter, right? Like as you mentioned, like it was at a time where we were like getting into the teenage years and all these, so makes sense. I like Harry Potter movies as well.
No, they're amazing. Okay, moving on.
Wait, hold on. I want to change my answer for the movie, because I did not mention Piku. I don't know if you know, Piku has always been my like most favorite movie. I don't watch it. You don't? Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I did not. Okay. I haven't even watched Piku, to be honest.
If I want to like actually say, so it's like Piku is like Virgin River for me, and then Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara is like Gilmore Girls for me.
Okay.
So Piku is really my most favorite movie ever. There was a phase in my life where I used to watch Piku on repeat.
Oh yeah.
And everyone in my life at that time knew, and those people who are not in my life anymore, they would have just known for me to have liked Piku. Like that's the most favorite movie of mine. That has helped me grow as a person as well. So because I watched it at a time where I was like going through so much in my life, Piku just really calmed me down. Just watching that movie really calmed me down. It's literally, the story is literally the daughter traveling, I think, from Delhi to Kolkata with her father, while falling in love with the driver. So it's not like the driver is all shown as the main character as well, and is played by Irfan Khan, who's no more. I was sad when I got to know that. But anyway, Piku is like my most favorite movie, and then Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara is something that I just, for fun, I just watch. Like, it's just playing in the background. I don't have to think twice about it, sort of thing.
No, that's awesome. So, I'll have to watch that movie.
Amazing.
When I get a chance.
It's really good book. Cool.
Awesome. We'll move into our favorite books. Aroma?
I'll let you go first here.
Okay, I'll go first. So I've already mentioned Harry Potter, so I'm not going to mention Harry Potter here. I'm going to mention Project Hail Mary. So this book is about a high school science teacher, and he wakes up and he discovers that he is on a spaceship on a mission to save the Earth from going extinct. He doesn't know how he ended up on that spaceship. He does not know what the mission requires. He does not know what he has to do, because during the space flight, he has lost consciousness and some of that memory. So he is slowly regaining those memories and trying to figure out what is going on and how he has to save the Earth. It is very, very interesting because that perspective is very science fiction based, and the book is very science fictiony, and like there's a lot of science in it. It's heavy on the science. But then you get to the second part of the book and it turns into so much more, and I do not want to say what that is because that will spoil things for anyone who's going to read the book. To read this book and to have that specific thing spoiled, it's not as fun anymore. You're not going to appreciate it as much as you would when it comes to discovering this book, like that part of the book on your own. But if you're not going to read it, Roma, I'll spoil it to you outside of the podcast if you're not going to read it. Because honestly, like, science fiction is very specific and not everyone's going to want to read it. Right. But it is such a great story. I don't even want to mention what it's about, what happens in the second half, because it becomes so much more than saving the Earth from going extinct. So that book, like, I read that so fast. I've recommended it to other people and who finished it really fast as well, because it is just that good. For non-science fiction readers, you can just ignore the science fiction part, like the science part, and be like, yeah, whatever you say makes sense, blah, blah, blah. Like, my husband's not into science fiction, but he is reading the book, and he's like, oh, I don't understand all this sciencey stuff that they're talking about. Like, you can just ignore that, and the book still makes sense. You can be like, yeah, whatever you say, that works. Great.
Interesting. It's the meaning behind it, like why he does things. And
Exactly. So that's my favorite book. What about you, Roma?
Okay, again, I have two. Because I can't pick one. I have A Man Named Ovi, and I have Educated as the second book. So A Man Named Ovi, I read that a while ago. I'd say maybe 3 some years ago, and it still stayed with me. And recently I found out there's a movie on Netflix.
Yeah,
on this
I
book.
watched it.
Anyway, I read that book, and this old man who has lost his wife, and he's basically just trying to live his life in a way without his wife, the way he can, and I think the first part of the book basically shows him trying to commit suicide a few times and then fails just because of his neighbors knocking on his door, or just random noises he would hear right at the time he's trying to hang himself and all, which would stop him from committing suicide and everything. And then eventually how he grows into, because at first he's shown as getting annoyed by neighbors all the time, and getting he hates being interrupted while he's trying to commit suicide and everything. Sort of makes it look funny, but deep in a way, that how his surrounding and his neighbors and everything sort of giving him or showing him some reasons to keep living his life rather than trying to commit suicide and end his life just because he lost his wife. And then the whole movie is basically unrolling into how he grows to like the neighbors, gets used to their ways, and starts liking their food, and they share food, and they start caring for each other, in the sense that he's an old man, so the neighbors would help him, they would bring him food and stuff, and in return, him being so experienced with fixing things around the house and all, he would like try to like help with that, or like just get angry if the neighbor's wife isn't able to like back her car into the driveway properly. He would like become like one of these like old fathers, would just get like annoyed and angry, but in disguise like actually like help her, like, you know, teach her and things like that. Very deep meaning movie, a book as well. So I finished that book very fast when I started reading it, and that's when I really liked that writer as well. And then the other book I have is Educated. I've mentioned this before in our intro podcast, and I really like that book. I started reading it, then I went to the audio version of it, and then I went back to the book again. And again, like I think that one is like a true story, and I really like that book because of it being true story and how it had taken place in like rural USA. And the author, you know, talks about her life as a kid and how it is among her siblings and how things went wrong with her, but she was not brave enough to like take a stand or like speak up for herself and all that. So it was just nice to see. And I think they were like either homeschooled or just not even sent for education, but instead they got the education through just life in general, or that's what their parents tried to do and everything. So anyway, I'm not so great at explaining the books or movies or shows or anything. Anyway, it's a really good book if you want to like read about a struggled life and how someone tries to come out of that in a successful way, and how they're leading their life successfully and happily right now, sort of thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not as huge of a reader as Jasnoor is. I take my time reading, but once I do get connected to a book, then I finish it very fast. But I think that connection part is difficult for me to like just get used to. But yeah, these are two really good books according to me.
Yeah, no, I've read A Man Called Ove, and it's really, really good, and I think I finished it really fast as well, so I can definitely resonate with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we'll get into the next thing, which is, a little bit of an easier question. What's your favorite color?
I like, again, 2-3 colors here, but they're all the same category. Okay, so it's like royal purple to like maroon and wine sort of shade.
Okay.
I really like that shade. I don't know, it's just natural. I've always been naturally drawn to that color. So not lilac, like not like light purple. It's literally like the darker shade of purple, which is royal purple. Yeah. And then that, if you like add a bit of like maroon in it, because I really like maroon as well. So if you add a bit of maroon in it, it would become sort of like a wine shade color. It also is like fall related. That's like one of the popular colors in fall as well. I don't know, it feels like warm to me. I don't know, I go with that color everywhere.
Yeah, it calls to you.
How about you?
I love the color green. It reminds me of nature, and I tend to go towards like natural green or like forest green.
Okay.
And I just love those shades. Like they remind me of nature and calmness. I've heard green is a color of envy. I don't think that resonates with me, but I've also heard that, you know, it's like a very like earthy, natural, very connected to like the nature. It's just, I like the color green.
You know, I think the envy part, I think that comes from movies and everything. I don't like, if you were to look up what color green represents, usually it shows like nature and emotions, feelings. I even had like wealth and prosperity as like a green, like what the color green represents and everything. So I agree with you, like it would represent a lot of like nature related things.
I have a lot of green clothing. It's insane. If I could wear one color, it would be green. Yeah.
I love it.
Okay, moving on. What is your favorite season?
Related to the previous question, it's fall. I love fall, or autumn, as some places call it autumn. I don't know, it's just the feeling of getting back into the routine, the colors like from burgundy to navy blue to like mustard yellow, like all these colors I really, really like. really like sweaters and just coziness a lot. So I don't know, I've always liked fall. All these other seasons, I have things that I don't like about other seasons. So, and fall is everything that I love about fall, and it just feeling wise, it makes me feel calm and cozy. So fall.
No, that's awesome. I feel like, yeah, like you mentioned, it connects like the colors with the season.
Yes.
Because I'm exactly the same way. Like my favorite season is summer, and that's where like everything is green. And it's like amazing. I love the feeling of being so hot. Like I don't mind sweating. Like I want to be as hot as possible. I like getting tanned. I don't know. I just always run cold. So like I can never get enough of like the heat. It's just everything is like the days are longer, and you know you can do so much more in the daytime, and everyone is out and about. You're active, and easier to drive in the summer.
So many practical benefits to having summer around.
Yeah, you can travel. Like it's just a nice time. Summer is just, I love it.
Cool. All right. Then gets us to the clothing item, which I'm assuming which might be related to the season. We worked out this pretty well.
We did.
What's your favorite clothing item then?
So mine is leggings. I think it's just, you can just throw a pair of leggings on with any outfit, and it's just comfy, and it's like, you know, you can do whatever you want. I treat leggings as like my only pair of pants, but I could wear leggings anytime, and they're just comfy. Obviously I wouldn't wear them to work or whatever. If I could, I would, but it's just
for as long as I've known you, I know you've always preferred wearing leggings over jeans or any other material clothing.
I hate jeans. Don't even get me started. Like I just can't with the fit, with the texture, how it feels against my body. Like I've never liked jeans. Plus, like I have thick thighs. The fit is never right.
It's comfort at the end of the day, right? Like
Exactly.
I know I get leggings are very much comfortable in that sense. I get that.
Yeah. What about you, Roma?
Surprise, surprise. I like sweaters and baggy sweatshirts. I love wearing these things. Like, I think sometimes in the house, those could be my only things, right?
Yeah.
Because they are like baggy and they're just already like covering most of your body, and just in general as well, like even for like outside, I love wearing sweaters, and because it's, I don't know, it's the comfort for me as well, and the coziness of it. I'm not very much of I don't know how to say this without sounding very old school and stuff, but I like to cover myself, and I like that feeling. It makes me feel confident, and I feel like something I don't have to worry about if I wear just baggy sweatshirts and like good quality sweaters and all. It's just very comfortable for me. It's like one of my confident outfits, and I have a story on this. Like, so back in the day when I used to be the phase of my life, and I used to be very like not confident about my body and all of that, I used to look at Deepika Padukone, who's the Bollywood actress, and I used to notice how she would always, like, even when she went to promote her movies and stuff, she would always be in like a sweatshirt or like a sweater, pair of jeans, and a ponytail, and that was like my normal go-to thing. And I always felt like, oh, I didn't really like this, like, I don't know, like I'm not very stylish and all that. But then I used to look at her and I'm like, wow, like she's an actress and she's pulling that off, and it's okay to have things like that. It's okay to have that as your personality or your like style and everything. And obviously after that, like, obviously life happens and you gain, you know, you build towards yourself, and you develop your mindset, and you develop yourself, and you start building your own confidence and all of that. And you know, I started getting okay with the idea of wearing baggy clothes or wearing like sweatshirts and sweaters and everything. I do like dresses, but I would wear them usually during summers. I just want to feel comfortable all the time. I think for me, comfort is equal to confidence. Thank God I'm not a model, so that works out for me in my life. If I were a model, I would probably have to get okay, or not used to it, but like be okay with the fact that it's wearing very like nice looking outfits and still be confident and comfortable in it. But yeah, so for me it's sweaters or baggy sweatshirts.
Nice. I definitely like sweaters and baggy sweatshirts too, because just comfort is nice.
Yeah, and they go amazing with leggings too.
They do go
Perfect.
amazing with leggings. Yeah. All right, moving on. What is your favorite food?
Okay, I don't know if there's such a thing as a favorite food, like picking one item. I'm sure there is a lot of people like that. But if I have to pick one item that I can eat on daily basis and be okay with it, it would be pani puri or golgappe, as some people call it. It's basically a puffed ball, basically, and you put a mixture of like potatoes and like some sort of chickpeas. Yeah, but the desi version of it, right? Like the black version of it, the black chickpeas. Yeah,
I don't know if they're.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think they're called that, but anyway, it's a mixture of that combined with like salt and black salt and maybe a bit of like cilantro and a bit of you can add like other spices in that mixture. And the main thing, the pani, is the water, which is made up of mint, cilantro. You can add a bit of ginger in it, and salt, and if you want to make it spicy, then green chilies, and you just crush everything up and add that mixture to a bowl of plain water, and then you leave that mixture in it.
You're missing one really important thing: the tamarind sauce.
I don't add tamarind sauce in it.
What? Like, do you not add like tamarind anything?
No, because that's a different chutney for us, like that. So when I eat pani puri, I know a lot of people go with also the sweet pani along with the savory one, but I don't like the taste of it. I've always liked only the mint water. That's the only thing I do. So if we do want to do the tamarind one, which is like a tamarind plus, we also do dates combination with it to add a bit of like sweetness. That's a completely different chutney, so that you would add on the side in addition to the mint one. For me, the mint one is the main one that I do. I think I can eat that every day if needed. It's not like super healthy, like it's not very nutritious, except for like maybe potatoes, and these chickpeas thankfully are full of protein, so it's okay, but like not like the super nutritious food every day. But that would also be like a comfort food for me, like I can have that. How about you, Jasnoor? What's your favorite food or comfort food?
Yeah, I can get behind pani puri like any day, but I would go with tacos. I love tacos. Like, they can be like veggie tacos, chicken tacos, shrimp tacos, like pork tacos. Like, tacos are like amazing.
So is it like, okay, so but then, so the tacos, do you mean like the hard shell tacos or the soft ones?
I like the street style tacos, which are mostly soft.
And so then I know that the soft ones could also be made of corn or made of like flour. Which one? Do you have a preference?
I don't really have a preference. I could go for either or. But they have to be soft.
Cool.
I do not like the hard shell tacos. I think they just fly everywhere. But not the soft one. The soft one, and those like really tiny ones.
Yeah.
So, but I make tacos at home. And like, I tried tacos at a place in Calgary. It's called Taiko Canteen, and they make tacos in bao buns.
Oh,
have you had bao buns before?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're very like really soft. Like, really soft buns. They made tacos with those buns, and they're so good. You have to try them if you.
This is making my mouth watering now.
Yeah.
All these food items we're talking about.
I know. But yeah, I can have tacos anyways.
You have to give me the address of this place. I don't recall this place.
Yeah, I'll text it to you. But I'll mention it in episode details as well.
Okay.
Should we move on to the next question? Next favorite thing. So what is your favorite scent?
For me, it's rose. I won't talk about jasmine because you have jasmine too. So I'll say rose because rose is my main thing. I don't know why. I've always loved rose. And then after a while, it just became my go-to thing. Like, that I would just always I want to smell like rose all the time. So I don't know. A lot of people have allergy to rose, I think. I don't know. But I like rose. I like smelling like rose. I like the smell of rose. It's just very homely to me. It's like it speaks to my soul.
Yeah, no, I can definitely agree because rose would be my favorite scent as well, but I definitely have a preference to jasmine. Because there's a lot of jasmine flowers in India.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, the white small ones, right?
Yeah,
The
the
ones
white
that they
small
use in like hair and all these things.
Yeah,
I
they
know.
smell
I
so
love
good.
jasmine too.
Yeah, and my mom actually has a plant at her house as well. That's a jasmine plant, and it actually like sprouts those flowers, and it smells just like that.
Okay, I need that. If you can get me like a next time I'm over, please have it from your mom. I need that to plant it in my house. So I love jasmine too.
Okay, yeah, I'll get it from my mom. It will have to be in the summertime because what I've noticed is if you propagate a plant and if you transport it in winter, it dies.
Oh,
It
okay.
just dies. Yeah, because of the weather fluctuation
Okay.
between indoor and outside.
Makes sense.
So remind me in the summertime. And I'll
Okay,
get it
done.
for you.
Yeah, but yeah, jasmine's amazing choice.
It is. I can have it in any scent, lotion, bath product. It's just so good. Okay, so next thing. So what is your favorite thing to do when you visit a nice place? New place.
A new place.
A new place.
We hope it's nice.
We hope so, yeah.
So I'm a huge planner. I think by the time we'll get to like 7th or 8th episode, the listeners will be like, yeah, we know you are a planner. Anyway, when we go or try to travel, I go crazy on like what to do every day while we are there. It's sad, but but I don't actually practice it. But I would write down exactly like what to do, like in my Excel spreadsheet, like this time to this time, like what place we want to visit, and then so and so throughout like all whatever days you are staying at that other place for travel purposes. But I've learned from someone is that when you travel, you don't want to have a checklist. You don't want to go through your checklist and see, okay, done this. No, you actually want to feel the vibe of the place.
Yeah.
After that, I still write things down. Like I still go like, okay, these are some of the main things I want to see, but now I don't do it by day. I don't write down that, okay, we have to see this place in this day. I don't do that anymore. So I think the first thing I would normally do if we get there like early enough in the day is I would actually stroll through the streets there just to see the infrastructure of the place. That's like my first thing that I would like to do. And then as you explore, you find other things to do there, and hopefully you end up in like other places that you have listed in your to-do list and everything. But this is normally what I do, even if it's like, even back in the day when I used to have that like solid list. That would normally be like something I would like to do like first thing, just to see the surroundings and everything.
That's a very good way to like get used to the new place, figure out what's good to see, because like all those lists you can make, it might be like what's popular, but it might not be what interests you most. So yeah, no, I can definitely see why that would be your favorite thing to do. That's awesome. I would find the best food place.
Oh.
That would be my number one thing to do. Be like, where is the best food place? And then go from there. I also like planning things. But my planning is, these are the 3 or 4 things that I want to see.
Right.
And, this morning we're going to see that place. We can do whatever we want for the rest of the day. And this evening we're going to go to this restaurant. I think that's the extent of my planning, because then that leaves things up to chance as well. And if things get derailed, or plans change, or you find something better, I definitely just want to find the best food places.
Is it something specific you go after, like desserts or like main course items or like beverages or cafes or something?
So from recent experience, like because like Calgary is such a landlocked place, if we ever go to like a place that's surrounded by water, I want to try like their fish cuisine. Or like if it's a different country, like I want to try their specific cuisine. So like if let's say we're going to like Greece, I want to try like Greek food specifically.
Okay.
So that's what I would want to focus on. I'm very like food minded. I'm like, okay, I'm here to eat. Let's eat.
Next thing is the workout or activity, the favorite thing.
Mine would be rock climbing.
Cool.
I got exposed to rock climbing when we were in high school, and as part of like our like gym class, they took us to rock climbing, and it was so much fun to just be able to climb a wall holding these tiny rocks. And then I actually did some of that afterwards as well when we were in university. And but you need a partner in rock climbing, because you need someone on the ground kind of holding the rope down.
Right.
So it's not a solitary activity. So I find it very hard to get someone to do this with me who's interested in doing it as well. I don't get to do this much, but this is like, if I was to choose an activity that I have enjoyed and could do like all the time, that would be rock climbing. I wouldn't do this outside. They would not do outside rock climbing, because
that's too scary.
That is
Risky.
too scary. It is too scary, yeah. And I would think that I'd get hurt. So, indoor rock climbing. What about
Indoor
you?
rock climbing. I have actually done rock climbing once. I and my husband, we went as our anniversary thing to do something adventurous like that. But I didn't enjoy it. Like, it was a lot of work, like, so it does feel good at the end of the session that you finish, but too difficult for me. I couldn't really do much, forget height, like scared of height and everything. So like getting too up high wasn't possible. And I think once you get to a certain height, and the way you come down is you just like drop yourself, right?
Yeah.
My brain couldn't do it. I'm like, I'm gonna fall. I couldn't do it. It was just, and that was the first and last time we have done it. So I'm not sure if I would enjoy it. But the one thing I do like doing and I actually enjoy is Pilates. I have been loving Pilates. I've been doing that for a few months now, and it's, I think in my experience, it's the best way to keep yourself like toned. And feel like, okay, you did a bit of an exercise and everything. Like from stretching, it would feel like a full body cardio as well. The way you hold some of the positions and the pulling and the pushing and all these things. So I have been liking it so much. It's helping with my body a lot. And that's also something like I feel really good at the end of the session as well. So I would feel like, okay, this is something I can go back to, and it's sort of like helped me stay consistent with my health and my like workout routine, or whatever I'm trying to set as my workout routine. So it has helped with consistency to me as well, because it's the number of classes that you sign up for, and you have to show up and all of that. So that would be my thing, as I'm so glad I started that.
Nice. I know a lot of people love Pilates, so I'm glad you found it, and you find it enjoyable, because I think that's the toughest thing with the workouts and activities is they can feel like a lot of work, and if you don't enjoy it, it's just you're not motivated to go back to it.
No.
So if you're loving it, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it's really for all ages people. Like I've seen ladies there from very young looking ladies to like older ladies as well. I've seen like one man so far there in all these months I've been there. But otherwise, I don't know why, like not a lot of men that show up at Pilates. I don't know. I would assume it's both gender workout, but I don't know. Maybe it seems very sexy for like women. Maybe.
I don't think a lot of men do Pilates. I think they prefer boxing. Okay, moving on to the next one. What is your favorite way to travel?
Cars. I like driving. I prefer driving over any other medium of traveling. Flights are scary to me. And just every time, okay, this happens. I sit in a flight because I get scared. Like, I don't know. I don't know why I think it's the height plus the turbulences and all that. But anyway, every time I sit in a flight, I'm like, I must love this person that I'm trying to visit, or I must want to go to this place so badly that I'm putting myself through this again for these many hours. I've thought that to myself, that I must love this person so much. Like, this really proves that I love you so much as a person or as a friend or whatever, that I'm willing to do this for you and put myself through so much misery for like a few hours. So flight is like a very like tough thing for me. Obviously, at some places you have to take flights because that's the only medium of transportation. But if I do have an option, I would prefer a car over any other medium.
Yeah. Would you ever take like a ship or like a boat?
Nope. Water isn't my friend either. I just have a lot of fears, I'm realizing as I'm talking.
Yeah. Oh man. I did not know that you like to drive. I don't. I think I just made that assumption because I don't like driving. That no one else likes driving.
That's easy.
No.
But what about you? Tell me yours.
Okay, mine is train. And I wish trains would go faster, but the reasons I don't like flights is just because they're so long and you're just confined to a very small space and you're sitting for so many hours, and they're too long. And car, I don't like driving cars. I can get behind, like I can be in a car if someone else is driving, great. But again, a lot of sitting and not being able to move.
Right.
With bus, same thing, sitting and not being able to move. On a train, you can move around.
Yeah, you can take a walk if you want without like bugging people. Yeah. More
Exactly.
space.
Exactly. Yeah, giant windows to look out of. And you can read. You can read, yeah. So I get motion sickness in cars if I try to read, or even look at my phone. So I get a lot of motion sickness, but I don't experience that on a train. And
Interesting. Okay.
yeah. So I can do a lot on a train that I can't do other things. I think what I'm finding is I just get too bored of traveling because it takes so damn long.
Right.
I think that's my biggest issue with traveling, because it takes so long.
What about motion sickness in flights? Does that happen?
No, that does not happen in flights. It doesn't happen in buses either. Just cars. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I can move in other things and I can't move in a car. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So that's why I prefer train.
I wish we had more trains here taking us from one city to the other. I know Eastern Canada has that.
Yeah.
Where you can just travel easily between Toronto and like Quebec and like all these other places and provinces and all.
Yeah.
And those trains also like go all the way to the US and all. I'm like, why not Western Canada? Why is it only Eastern Canada?
Exactly. And Europe, you can travel to a different country on a train.
Exactly.
And it's so easy. But yeah, I wish there was a lot more train travel. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's a definite thing. It also stays on the road, which is also my preferred medium of transportation.
It is
I don't need it flying or floating. As long as it stays on the road, on the ground, I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know if I would get seasick on a ship, to be honest. Because I've never actually been on a ship.
No, so, what about when you went from Vancouver to Victoria?
Right, a ferry. I did not get seasick then, but I didn't try to read. You know what? That's a good point. I could move around in a ship.
Yeah.
I could do a lot of things on a ship.
Yeah, it would be like a train essentially. It's moving on its own, but it's almost like a huge area that you can like walk around on and everything.
Yeah, I did not get seasick when I was on a ferry, but I don't know if it's the same on a ship. It might be, might not be. I don't know. Maybe my theory holds that if I can move around, I don't get seasick or motion sickness.
So that's why it's your preferred then.
Exactly. Okay, Roma, I think that's all the favorite things that we have time for this week. Maybe we'll do a second part episode and cover more favorite things in the future. And if you want to know any and if you want to know any specific things that are our favorites, you can reach out to us on Instagram, on our email, Cardamom Chai Podcast at gmail.com, and give us your suggestions. But before we wrap it up, we're gonna wrap it up with our favorite segment, what we're loving this week. So Roma, what are you loving this week?
Okay, so I made some homemade buns the other day. And I was obsessed with them. I didn't know I could do that. They turned out to be very spongy and like soft and tasted exactly like if I had bought them in store outside. They tasted so good, like it was perfection. And so I was like obsessed with them when I made them, came out of the oven, and I saw them like being so like puffy and like perfect shaped buns and everything as well. And I took a picture and a video and I sent it to like you, and then I sent it to my parents, and my mom is like, why are you sending me bun videos? And I'm like, it's a homemade. she's like, why are you eating like buns and everything all the time? Like, eat something healthy. I'm like, it's a homemade. I made it at home. And then she was like going crazy. She's like, are you kidding me? Like, you actually made these at home. She was very surprised, pleasantly surprised.
Nice.
And yeah, so I love the taste of them and everything. So now I've decided that if I want to eat anything that includes buns, I'm making buns at home.
Nice. They look so good. Like, honestly, like they look so soft and fluffy. Oh, yeah. And you have to share this on Instagram with everyone. And
it was a YouTube recipe. I obviously took it from someone. So I'll share that on Instagram.
Yes.
Okay. And how about you? What are you loving this week?
Okay, so in the introduction, I know that we mentioned that I've been loving like getting into a lot of reading and fantasy books. So I think so I finished a book last week, and it was more fantasy. And so I'm going on like TikTok for like, there are like all these people coming up with like book recommendations. So they're calling it Booktok because it's talking about books on TikTok. So it's Booktok. But it's still on TikTok. And I'm getting like all of these videos popping up on all of these like recommendations for like fantasy books. So I'm getting all of these recommendations for, and then people talking about the book that I really liked, and how they really liked it and what they liked about it and everything. So I'm just loving being like looking at people who are like in the same boat as I am.
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. So that's what I'm loving this week is the Booktok, and I'm getting so many recommendations. I have like a list of at least like 15 books that I want to read now, just from Booktok.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm loving this week. But I think that's all we have for you guys for this week. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us for today's episode on all our favorite things and us going on and on about what we like about them and everything. And we would like to hear from you guys if you could relate to any of these things, or if you want to know more on any of other areas from us on what our favorites are and everything. You can reach out to us on Instagram and on through our email at cardamomchaipodcast@gmail.com. And Thank you so much for joining us. We had so much fun talking about our favorite things and like just getting all involved in it again.
Yeah. This was a really fun episode to record and share with you guys. So thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great week.